do that. Some people are waiting in the sunshine for 8 minutes, and you'd like to do that as well, you can. But listen, you booked your guides, you already paid. You don't owe us any more money. Some of these guys are going to pay us at the end. So just keep that in mind. You don't need to. So I am from the United States. You might have noticed that by now. I've been back and forth though between the U.S. and Krakow for over 10 years. So you're in good hands, don't worry. What brought me here was my husband. He was born and raised here in Krakow. Now, today's tour, like I said, is Old Town and Castle. So we're going to go around this area here that is called the Old Town, and then we will head. It is called the Small Square. Rynek, you can see it right above your head. Of course, the Old Town. So this small square, you might be thinking, why is there a small square next to the main square? There's too many squares, right? This served a very specific purpose. This is where they sold the smelly stuff. So things like horse feed and fish, that's what would have been on this marketplace here. Because over on the main square is where they sold, a lot of luxury items like gold and particularly salt at the time. But one of the most important things sold on our main square was cloth, linen, fabric, clothing, right? All right, guys, welcome to the theater. So, 966, Poland is born. 1795, it is wiped off the map in what is known as the final partition. Now, did the Austrian officials care? No, right? The theater's right here in front of us. But something interesting happened because Jan Matejko was a very loud critic of this plan. And when this theater is opened in the middle of 1893, through his art. Now, might be looking at his paintings if you see any of them. Just remember, he was an artist first and a historian maybe third or fourth, because he liked to do a lot of artistic liberties. You can say I would not consider his paintings non-fiction in any way. But fun fact, if anybody's headed to Paris, one of his most famous paintings is called Stanchi. It's of a court jester from the 1500s. His
queuing up.
No, it's alright, I'll get one after.
Yeah,
I don't like that, get a raspberry one.
This church becomes St. Mary's. Now, that same tradition, even though nowadays it only takes them about 3 minutes to get to the top. But remember, they're firemen, so they are like well trained in climbing steps, right? Now, you're going to hear him out to the main square. We've still got time before we're going to see him, okay? So hang tight. He's going to take about 3 or 4 minutes to get around to us, depending on who is playing today. I will stop talking when he's on our. Now, every trumpeter plays the same melody, but they all play in a different style. So come back tomorrow, it may sound a little bit rage, and he throws himself himself to his own death as thieves from stealing things. Now, most people think if you're a thief and you get caught stealing in medieval times, they're going after these. No, they actually went after your nose or your. So it is not an original medieval piece, but most of the other medieval pieces around town are actually original. And I want to take you to the oldest church on the main square now to show you something that happens here that's quite interesting. So it's all entrance. Now, why is its original entrance way down here when we all are walking way up here? That's because Krakow had a huge problem with garbage. Over the century, I told you earlier, was laid out according to Magdeburg law. Magdeburg city rights, it's essentially Germanic city planning. So when the Nazis arrive, they say, wonderful, this is a German city, let's make it ours. And
I've never been into it. We toyed with the idea of doing
she marries the idea of now.
it's a well, a piece of water bottle.
Does just this. Dressed as a man, she goes to the fountain, puts her hand in, it doesn't bite her, but what's the next step? Take the water from the fountain and put it on yourself for good luck. Her shirt becomes see-through. Składowska-Curie. Problem is, she comes to Jagiellonian, and they say, no, you're not allowed, you're a woman. She goes to France, she marries Pierre Curie, and France had a law back then. You couldn't have a hyphenated name. Keep this university alive during the war. Today, over there in the Royal Labs, this university still operates.
They just put it. Would it not have been easy just to cut the damn thing up and instead of putting a thing round it?
Can't be arsed.
Can't be arsed. I'm just going to leave it here.
Rope it up, you're right.
Who are these two guys? Do we know?
Ron and Jeremy.
After him. Anybody know the name of the tallest mountain? Say it again. No, it's not Kosciuszko. Now, that's not how you say this guy's name. You say it Kosciuszko. They sort of Australianized it. But nonetheless, a Polish guy climbed that mountain. He got to name it. So he named it after his favorite freedom fighter. But I know we've got some Americans in the group, not just me today. So I'll also mention that you see this guy's name all over the United States, even slavery, and he wanted to buy their freedom. Why is he outside of the castle waving us in is because remember when Poland disappeared for 123 years? It didn't go down without a fight. And he was the guy leading.
Se mi risale, ecco che la pagina, andiamo.
And they used it as a home market in the past. So it helped to increase visitors, and obviously the more visitors you have to the church, the more money you're going to have. There is Romanesque, there is Gothic, there is Renaissance, there is even Baroque. What the heck happened? All over the world to throw weapons or shoot things at this dragon. Oh, can you do it?
Yeah.
Cool. So, warriors come from all over the world to defeat this dragon, but every weapon they throw at him bounces off his skin and falls to the ground.
Ось зараз біля того.
Może dlatego.